us speculating about her. I mean, he doesn't call us out personally, but basically,
Well, he's probably referring to us because I've said some not nice things about Miss Morgan recently.
he makes it sound like she's in good shape, Miss Morgan, that
I
she's.
mean, look, here's what I don't understand. And I have a housewife that actually DM'd me when this first came out. Like, what is an auction if it's not foreclosure? I don't understand. Like, it's been on the market. If it's not an auction, you can sell a house. You lower the price. It was lowered, I think, recently to 8 million. Lower it to 7. That doesn't sell, lower it to 6, 5, 4, 3. You could lower it to 1 million and then get everyone overbidding and have a bidding war. I don't understand an auction. Who auctions off their house? A bank auctions off their house when you lose it. So I just don't understand this. I really don't. I truly don't. Like if it's 8 million, it's not selling. If you put it on for 4, and now everyone wants it and there's a bidding war. Isn't that the same thing? I've never heard of an auction. I,
Well,
I
isn't
truly,
there
I truly don't. I've never heard of this, but I'm sure someone out there is going to tell me that I'm a moron and this happens all the time. That's great. I am not Bethany fucking Frankel. I don't fucking know it all. I've never heard of this. I've heard of lowering a price. Every piece of real estate is sellable. The problem of why real estate doesn't sell is because of the price. I have bought and sold many properties of my own. It's that simple. So if she needed to sell it, I don't know why you couldn't just lower the price. I don't understand who auctions off a house unless it's a bank that takes it from you. That's my honest thing.
I
Like
mean, I'm
Kim Zolciak is going to learn soon what this means. That's all. But I was so mean to Sonia Rita last week, so I guess I should be nice. Speaking of Bethany, or do you know what? We'll save Bethany for next. Do you want to talk a little Vanderpump? To your point, we have a lot
well,
to talk about.
I was just Googling some ways, like why would you auction off a house?
Oh,
Auctions help sell real estate very quickly. Altogether, this is usually a quicker way to sell a house versus listing it on the market.
well, there you go.
Well, it proves your point. Maybe she's not in foreclosure, but she needs the money, right? I mean, why are we doing a quick auction here? Sometimes houses go up for auction after they've been foreclosed upon or when the previous owner defaults on property taxes. What causes a house to be auctioned? Once homes are foreclosed on or seized, I mean, it doesn't look great. Should
I
you buy
mean,
a house at auction?
yeah, I mean, that's
Nobody here.
just
Yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, Andy can.
spin this the same way. Oh, he's a fucking spin doctor lately.
He is.
Lately, he said, "Oh, BravoCon's not happening this year," and he addressed it. Everyone says, "Well, I think he's referring directly to you and me." Sarah and David say that it's because of all my legal troubles and everything Bravo's going through, and that's not the case. We always plan on skipping every other year with BravoCon, so. Now he's spinning this. So we have a real fucking spin doctor on our hands. And now you're getting me riled up again. And I've been calm.
Well,
A
I will
spin
say
doctor.
this:
Lying to the good people.
Our friend Sarah from Texas has caught him in a lie because Sarah from Texas
Mm.
did some sort of deep dive where she went back, where apparently he said, I believe at this current BravoCon, that NBC had secured Caesar's Palace for the next 5 years or something.
Yeah.
So I'm getting it jumbled. All of our listeners are much smarter than I am and follow Sarah and know the deal. But
Right.
essentially, Sarah, I know, no, it's a slow start today.
Ah,
So Sarah basically went back and caught him in hyping up how great BravoCon is. And guess what? We're back next year. We've secured the building. And now, of course, he is a spin doctor. The only one, I'll leave it with this.
go
This could be
Sarah from
positive.
Texas. Yeah.
People may want to auction off their homes in many ways because auctioning a property helps create more interest and demand. People who are interested in purchasing real estate at an auction are usually ready to jump and make more competitive bids. So maybe the spin doctor is right.
I'm going to be selling my places when I don't want to own them anymore. My places will not be auctioned. I don't I've never heard of such a thing. I find it silly. I don't like it. It's not for me. Do what's what? Oh,
We have one more.
how?
We can do one more quickie before
I
we.
don't know if Vanderpump is so quick.
No, we gotta wait.
You know what we could talk about is we can talk about girls' trip. You know, this story angers me. This story actually angers me
Why?
because haven't we been saying for 7 years here that we're never going to see girls' trip two or whatever three with Brandi and Caroline, and this was probably just the end for girls' trip altogether. And now everyone's saying, "Oh, Brandi versus Caroline is the end of girls' trip altogether." A, we've been saying that for 10 years. B, I don't know if that's really true. It ended that season. I was like, we're never going to see this from a legal point of view, which we're not. I believe that, the ratings and the lack of overall interest as the seasons progressed is what caused Girls Trip to dissipate.
You do? What? Okay, this is like a hot.
I think it was yeah, it's a hot
You
take.
think the rating? You think without the Brandy Carolyn mess, that
Maybe,
girls'
yeah.
trips would be going away?
I think Brandy and Caroline, we're never going to see, which we never were going to see. But yeah, look, I think it started really heavy. And I think the first season did great. And the Bluestone Manor season did great. And then the third season we never saw. And then the fourth season, which we saw with Gay and Rose and Jizzy Jizz, no one gave a fuck. And then we had to throw ourselves into Legacy because, I mean, my girl Jill Zarin wanted to put some respect on her name as the OG and did not want to take less money than Kelly Ben Simone. So we had to revamp the whole Roni Legacy reboot to Roni Girls Trip. And I mean, did anyone really hang on every word of Roni Girls Trip? So I think Roni Girls Trip kind of faltered. And I think the Giselle, Candace, Leah McSwiney season of Girls Trip kind of faltered. And I think after two of those, and Bravo's having a lot of legal issues. And I think legally the Girls Trips, yeah, I think it's all over. I think all
You
that's,
do?
yeah.
Okay. How many girls' trips have we actually had? How many have been released on Peacock? 5 that we've actually seen?
One, two, never saw that one. Four.
4. I think it's coming back. I think it's coming back.
No, I don't think it's ever coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they they're letting everything breathe. That's the new strategy. We were right on this. We've told everybody and it's like, hello. They're pulling way back. I don't care what people say. I've said this to people I've seen. I'm like, they're pulling a TLC. Everyone goes, who? What? TLC, the Learning Channel. They used to be, they're still on. They have these reality shows that people don't believe me when I say this, but go do your own research. Sister Wives, some of the 90-day franchise get as many views as these housewife shows. They are on par, the same ratings. But TLC is a very quiet network. They don't want the drama that has come up with what's happening with Bravo. I think Bravo is taking a page from them. I think Girls Trip comes back. It's so cheap to produce. It's so cheap. They go to a resort for 10 days. That's it. They've already laid out the scenarios. We're going to put these women together. They're going to fight about this. They're going to go on a boat ride. We're going to keep them up late. They're going to booze. They're going to fight. Next day, boom, repeat. It's so cheap. I think they give it.
I don't think so.
I think it's on pause for a year or two, and we forget about Brandi and Caroline, and the lawsuit is resolved, and we move on.
I don't think anyone cares anymore. I think the nostalgia. I think Girls Trip. How can I say this? In retrospect, to me, was the beginning of the end of the golden era of Housewives because it was such a good idea. But like, why were we doing it? I think we were doing it to breathe new life into the Housewives franchise. And I think it was such a great idea, but I think it has faltered. And I think it set off all the nostalgia, which then was Roni Legacy and Crappy Lake and everything else nostalgic that we tried. And I think it's all just fallen flat. And I think we're over the nostalgia phase. I think that was like, how do we save the whole franchise? And we thought we had something, but we don't. And now that is over. And so now I think they're really just kind of on their running out of gas. And I think what did work was Traders, and that is not because of Housewives. It was in large part because of Housewives, but that's because you have an evil, maniacal, brilliant game. The same way Survivor is still on, the same way Big Brother is still beloved. The game Traders, if it was a bunch of non-famous people like it is in the UK and other countries, to me, would still be a great game. It's just a brilliant game that I would love to be a part of and play and beyond, just because the game excites me. Yeah, I think it's unfortunately over for Girls Trip. I am very
This is
sorry.
breaking, baby. This is breaking.
I'm sorry.
All right. Look, I gotta love you and leave. That's huge. That's huge.
That's my
right,
opinion.
heard it
My
here.
name is not Bethany Frankel, so I
Ugh.
don't know everything. And I mean, Bethany knows because she knows it all. But I
What
don't.
did I get? Did I get SHIT from a listener from our last go about how I said that Just Be Divorced will never be to back and so
Well,
sensitive about her mother.
no, we'll talk about that next time. Just Be Divorced ain't coming back. So you actually were right. So I'm sorry